In this video, we're going to be showing you how to utilize some of the sample Umango jobs that are available on the Umango reseller portal that you can restore in your own Umango and be able to help demonstrate some of the features of the Umango application. The idea, of course, is to keep things nice and simple, the emphasis on ease of use and the fact that there's really minimal training to become very proficient in the Umango application. And of course, you're welcome to take out of this presentation what you want and make it your own. Okay, so let's get started. So what I normally do is I demonstrate Umango first off by showing you that it's all in the web browser. So anyone on the network can, of course, log in. And if we can filter by the logged in user, what they can do within Umango, and we can capture that as part of the document process. So I'm going to log into Umango. Of course, I'm an administrator, so I kind of have all the feature sets available to me. And often what I do is I leave or turn on this welcome screen when I first demonstrate Umango to someone for the first time. And again, I just emphasize the ease of use. So when you first install the Umango application, you get this welcome screen, you can take a tour, which just steps you through the various areas of real estate on Umango and shows you what the features are. There's two primary core functions or features, if you like, of Umango, and the two jobs I'm going to be demonstrating to you show those two areas. And they are, first off, that you can convert jobs in Umango. And what I mean by that is you might have a disparate range of different file formats. They could be PowerPoint slides, they could be JPEGs, TIFFs, PDFs, whatever they are. And you might want to convert those into what I call a unified file format. So maybe a PDFA with different compliance from a document management point of view or whatever it might be. And you can select this job wizard here, which will simply ask you a series of questions, and you can create what we call a job around that conversion process. Now, another area or aspect of Umango is being able to capture what we call is metadata or information within our images and our scanned documents. And we can use that information to name a file, create a directory and subdirectory structure. We can look up information in different document management systems as well as part of that. Of course, output that somewhere. And we might want to put that into a document management system, file structure, in the cloud, whatever it might be. And the job I'm going to show you the second job is going to be showing you some of that Umango capability here. If you're a power user, of course, you can just hit new job and have all the features in front of you. And if you've had enough of this welcome screen, of course, you can turn it off and don't see this again. Now, the next thing we see is the dashboard. And again, I'm logged in as the administrator, but if I was just a user, I would see the dashboard from my user perspective. But here you'll get, if this was dynamically happening with different users and different documents being processed, this would be lighting up and showing you dynamically what is happening within Umango. And of course, if there's different failures or errors, you can drill down by clicking on these areas across the top here, and you can do different searches on different error messages or users or documents. All that information is available at your fingertips. You can even export the information around what Umango has been doing and processing as well. Document drop is the way that I'm going to be demonstrating those two sample jobs to you in this video. And document drop is available in Umango Professional. And I recommend, if you've got that tier available, that it's just a nice, easy way of dragging, as you'll see, documents into Umango and showing you how the process kicks off. Of course, Umango supports a wide range of different sources. We call them sources, but they could be inputs if you like. They could be filtering an incoming email address or filtering by a particular keyword or phrase within an incoming email. It might be a watched folder, but it also could be scans from a multifunction device, a Twain scanner, and lots more. Because I'm an administrator, I can also configure jobs and things of that nature as well. And I'm just going to step through the end of this video how you would configure these two jobs, and you restore them and just configure them to change them to your local PC environment there. As I mentioned, Twain scanning could be one of the ways that I could be importing documents. If I had a Twain scanner attached to this computer, I would just simply acquiring the Twain scanner through our scan actuator and importing documents that way. All right, so as I've mentioned, I'm going to be demonstrating two particular jobs that, as I've mentioned, you can restore and utilize in Umango and make them your own. And the first one, as I alluded to, is showing you one of the areas that Umango provides a solution around, and that is this conversion process. So what I've got here is under your restored job, you should have a source folder and under that you should have this file. And this is just a TIFF file. As I've mentioned, it could be a wide range of different image file formats. The idea is to show you that this is just an image, it has some text and some tables in it, but I can't change it, I can't edit it. And again, it's just a TIFF file. It's not even PDF compliant or anything of that nature. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag that file onto one of these document drop icons, and it's going to be processed according to those job rules, and it's going to be outputted to our output directory. And we're going to see dynamically the information being saved here. And in this case, I'm going to be using the existing file name, but a date, and the authenticated user as part of the naming of that file. And that authenticated user is just to show you that we could also dynamically look up that user's home folder, their email address, and send the converted files via email or whatever you like as well. Okay, so let's kick this off. So I'm going to drag that file onto my document drop icon here. You'll see a process. And what I've done is I'm actually utilizing another feature of Umango Professional, and that is to output. I can output to multiple destinations in the one job. So I'm going to show you that file being converted to a Word file using the Abby OCR engine. And Abby's very good at retaining an image file into a editable text like Word. But also I'm going to be grabbing that table. You remember there's a table within that image. I'm going to be grabbing that table and converting that to Excel as well. So you can see it's processing away and it's done. So let's have a look at that output. So that's my Word file, but suddenly I can edit and change the text. It's retained the layout, the images, and ready for me to make my alterations and changes. And secondly, you saw that we had the output of just that table, is what I specified in that job, to Excel. And here it is, that table. And of course, we could specify in Umango if there was multiple tables to create additional sheets down the bottom in Excel for us. Nice and simple demonstration. Of course, we can also import as part of an image an XML file created from a third-party application and dynamically grab any of that information in that XML file and use that as part of that document converting and routing process. So that's a quick demonstration on one of the core areas of Umango, as I mentioned, around converting and routing documents. The second one is around capturing that metadata that I mentioned dynamically off our documents. So you should have a source folder here, and you'll see that there's some images in it. This is just an example of a utility bill. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using this Synergy utility job to dynamically grab the account number, the invoice number, the total, and I'm just going to be grabbing the reference number out of here. And this is to show you that we can get very specific around the information that we want to grab out of a whole wide range of different text. Of course, we can use that information to name the file, subdirectories, look up different lookups in different databases, and export into a wide range of different outputs. And in this case, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be grabbing a couple of those documents. I normally just demonstrate no more than two, just purely from a conceptual point of view. And we're going to be outputting them to this folder here. And again, you should have just an output folder. You can see here I've just got them located on my desktop. And this example, I'm going to be outputting two different areas or outputs at the same time. I've just got them under the one folder, just again, not avoiding having to click around different areas on my computer. But the idea again here is to show you that Umango Professional has the ability to output to multiple destinations. In this case, you're going to see some folders being created here. You're going to have a text searchable PDFA that I can do any content searching on, and a CSV file of that information, just to show we can, if you like, the lowest common denominator, output that into a document management system or a database. I've got a different folder here as well, and I'm going to just change that to a PDFA. It's just going to be an image file. I'm going to get it to name it slightly differently, and I'm going to create an XML file in that case to be again imported into a bespoke document management system or something of that nature as well. Okay, so you're going to see me drag this back in a moment, and you're going to see this information dynamically being created. So I'm going to be dragging across two of those utility bill images now onto using document drop onto my Synergy job. Now, what I mentioned here is that I've turned all automation off in capturing that information within those images. And the reason is that to demonstrate the application, I show that if I've turned on all the automation, it would have grabbed this metadata and it would have just saved it, which might be confusing to explain the actual process. So I'm demonstrating Umango as what I call go slow mode right now. So you can see that some documents have been processed. There's a batch here. So if I logged in as a user, I'll just see some batches that I've got access to, and then I'd complete the processing of them, which we're going to do now. And again, I could be a member of the accounts team, whatever it might be, that I've got access to these particular files, if you like, as part of that job. And I'm just completing the metadata validation. As I said, I've turned all automation off, and it's a matter of clicking a mouse in the job configuration to be able to fine tune how much user interaction you want. From full, as you see here, to complete automation, we'll export the data and I'll never see it. So it's important to just explain what is happening here. So I used document drop and I dragged those two files in. And as I mentioned, there's some metadata that I'm now being prompted to fill in. And we created some zones within that job using a regular expression to dynamically find this information, to OCR it in this case, and to populate that in my field here for the user to validate. Now, this just represents many different ways that Umango can extract data. So as I mentioned, we've used a regular expression. So we're OCRing or dynamically finding information and grabbing it. But it could be a list of values. It could be just simply using lasso OCR, keyframe image. It could be a barcode. We might be browsing and navigating a back-end system or a document management system, deciding where this document's going to be saved. Lots of different methods we could be using. I think I mentioned ODBC. We could be doing lookups and all that sort of stuff as well. So what we're doing here is we're simply stepping through these metadata zones that we configured in that job, and we're validating that information. Now you can see if I just take one of these characters away, as I mentioned, we can build rules. We've said here that this references a certain number of numbers in this case. And you can see here it's flagging it saying, hey, it should be larger than the number of characters that we've given here. So we could build that as one of my rules. Oh, I didn't find the expected result. Show the user if I did save this information and not worry about prompting the user to do any data cleanup. So let's just step through these here. And you'll see as again, it's filling in the information for my first document and then my second. Now, this little blue area here is I can click on with the mouse, and I can use lasso OCR if I don't want to type it to do data cleanup, just highlight the right word or phrase. You can see I'm just using the mouse wheel, but I can zoom around the document. For whatever reason, the information might be somewhere else, and I would just be highlighting information with lasso OCR and populating that field automatically. So I just step through the document. You'll see it's self-evident, minimal training. You're getting heads up. In fact, what's happening here is this blue region just shows you what's been captured. And as I've mentioned before, you can filter by things like OCR confidence as well. So you'll see that the OCR engine is very confident in what it's read here. So I can simply tell Umango within the job, only show you this particular zone when it gets to below this confidence level. And in the real world, this would have extracted all the data and I would have never given these sort of heads up to do this manual validation. So I'm now on the second document. You can see that I've going through this information. Amount due on my second document, and it's just, again, prompting me for the metadata, which you're going to be using to dynamically create a directory structure and output to those two different locations, as I mentioned. Now, the other thing that I mentioned as I'm doing this is that experience of doing that data validation would be very similar on the touchscreen of a very wide range of supported multifunction device brands with Umango. So your copiers that you've invested in could become Umango validation workstations in their own right. So you could walk up, scan, and in real time do that validation on the touch panel of the multifunction device, or defer it, go back to your own PC, log in via your web browser, and do what I've just completed there as well. The other thing that I've got Umango to do in this example of this job is not only create a PDFA for archiving standards, but it is a text searchable PDF. So any of these words or phrases can be searched on within a document management system, or even just a Windows search if you wished. I've also got it to, doesn't look very pretty in this example, but I've got it to highlight the word account number. This just prompts me to remind in a demonstration that we can use Umango to highlight particular words or information, but also redact personal information within the exported file as well. You know, it could be a medical ID, an account number, a credit card number, whatever it might be, we can get it to redact that as well. If I scroll down the bottom here, I also got Umango to watermark this document. So I've got this sort of fixed scan by Umango, but dynamically the date. So this could be any information. So this could be a document ID that's being brought back from a document management system that I could get watermarked somewhere on the document. And that would be a good example that I could have the government department and the document ID. If this information or this image was then being provided, let's just say on a public facing website, and they'd have this link between the document and the document ID within the document management system behind the scenes, if that makes sense. So the watermarking, redacting and highlighting, and again, this is a text searchable PDFA. Created my directory structure here, and as I've mentioned, this is a CSV file. So this is just like an example of the lowest common denominator and how to export information into a document management system. So you'll see the account number, the invoice number, the date scanned, who scanned it, and importantly, the path of where that information is to be located. And that would be important in a document management system, and you'd be right from there. Now, as I've mentioned, Umango Professional Tier has the ability to output to multiple destinations at the same time. So I just got it to output a different location, in this case, just a simple PDFA with the account number. So it's just a flat image file. But I used a nice feature of Umango, which is to be able to create a customized XML output. Now, what I mean by that is the case that often with third-party document management systems, they provide you a sample of the XML file that they would typically need to import into their systems. And within Umango, you can paste that sample XML file. And all I did simply here is I just inserted the Umango zones or metadata just to show you that it's really easy to create a bespoke, customized solution very quickly. You save that customized XML file, and you can see now populating that with the metadata, and that will just be imported into the document management system. And there are my files, and there's my XML files for each of those image files. So that's a quick demonstration on Umango. Let's just take a moment to look at how I actually imported those jobs to demonstrate. And it's worth mentioning that there's a PDF that actually explains these steps. So make sure you download that PDF and have a look. But what you simply do is you go to Umango, you select New and Import Jobs, and you'll see that there's a UMJ file, a Umango job file for each of those actual jobs that we demonstrated. So you would navigate and you would import each one of those, and you would then see them listed under your jobs here. The next step, of course, is to make sure that you've created your input directory and your output directory for each of those jobs on your computer, making sure that the source folder or input folder has those sample images. You would select each job, and under sources, you can specify if you have Umango Professional, add this job to document drop, and that simply means that those large icons under the document drop that you saw before are available. And you would have seen how easy it is for me to just grab the sample files and drop them on there to demonstrate how Umango imports the file. If you don't, what you simply do under the job, under, for example, folder, you could navigate and save to the folder of where those sample images were and import them that way if you wish. The last thing you do, of course, under destination is you would, under each of these outputs, because we've got 2 exports happening out of each job to demonstrate the Umango Professional tier, is you would configure each of those to represent the export location or the export folder on your computer. So you would simply navigate to where that export folder is location. It's worth also noting under the Synergy utility, if you remember, we also had an XML file and a CSV file being exported. So you need to do the same thing just to specify where they're to go. And again, for demonstration purposes, I'd just keep them to the same folder that the images were going to. So you go here under destination, and each of these, you simply navigate to the folder that's on your local computer that you're going to be exported to. And also you specify the folder location and the name of the CSV file that is going to be exported as well. So just make sure you do that for both the XML and the CSV, specifying the folder for where the images are going to go to, and in this case, the text document, the CSV file, and the other job has the XML file. And it should be fine to go. Save that, and you'll be ready to demonstrate. Don't forget to visit the umango.com website. There's knowledge bases, there's heaps of resources of information, and feel free to reach out to Umango. We can help you.